Good evening, viewers. A dastardly attack that struck right in the heart of Kashmiriyat, an act fueled by a violent strain of religious fundamentalism that today plagues the entire world. It has not only wreaked havoc on innocent lives, but has also tainted the beauty of Islam, a religion that, like all other faiths, propounds peace, but is today being misused as a tool to fuel hatred. It is these Islamists that we condemn outright. It is these Islamists that Pakistan is backing. It is these Islamists that carry the caliphate dream. It is these Islamists that India stands against.
Absolutely. India against Islamists is the top trend across the country today for a reason. But at a time when the nation is united, our netas play petty. They stop short of calling the unholy act of killing innocents, the cowardice of attacking pilgrims, as an act of Islamist terror. And we ask why. We ask the Not In My Name gang, where are the posters against Islamist hate? We ask the Wapsi Brigade, where are you? Why aren't you returning your awards today? And we ask the opposition, those voices, when will you stop being selfish and start raising your voice for India? Because India is against Islamists.
A cowardly attack on a bus full of innocents, targeted by those who seek to divide India. 24 hours later, as the nation stands resolute, it's the netas who are divided, with opposition parties held back by political compulsions refusing to recognize the threat.
The government has to explain, despite intelligence reports, why this happened, why no action was taken. And the last time when this happened was in 2000, when you had a BJP-led NDA government at the center.
BJP can go to any extent to fulfill their agenda, to stigmatize the people of the state, particularly the Muslims. In this incident, they have a finger in it.
The government needs to introspect as to why, despite advanced intelligence inputs, was there a failure to prevent this attack.
These comments coming despite the fact that clear evidence has emerged of Pak's sponsored hand in the attack on Amarnath Yatris.
Pakistani Lashkar commander Ismail Bhai, who along with 3 more of his accomplices planned and executed the deadly attack on the Amarnath Yatra bus in the Botengu area of Anantnag in South Kashmir. He is someone who has fast risen the Lashkar ranks after the killing of at least 3 top Lashkar commanders by the security forces in the last 6 months, and someone who has been active in the area from the last 2 to 3 years.
For some, though, every tragedy is another opportunity to score some political brownie points while paying lip service to the enormity of the challenge facing India.
This incident must be taken as one incident. Please remember, none of us who live in this state are with this sort of a thing.
We now should prepare for a military solution, because all other solutions are useless, and they've been proved.
What can't be denied is that the ideology which justifies attack on women and elderly has to be defeated. Something which many of our netas are refusing to take head on.
Whenever an incident like this takes place, they are very prompt in finding fault with the BJP, but they neither have the courage nor the courage of conviction to utter a word of condemnation against the terrorists, against the separatists, not even against Pakistan.
आज का जो वाकया हुआ है, इससे हम सब कश्मीरियों के लोगों के सर शर्म से झुक गए, जो भी इसमें मुलविस हैं। मेरे ख्याल में वो मुसलमानों के नाम पे, कश्मीर के नाम पे उन्होंने आज बहुत बड़ा दब्बा लगा दिया, और उनको जल्द से जल्द सजा दिलाना हमारा काम है।
As Yatris refuse to be cowed down by Pakistan bullets, it's time our netas took a cue and united to fight a poisonous ideology that threatens to undermine the idea of India. Bureau Report, Times Now. Tonight, the debate on the news hour at 10. India betrayed, hate absolved.
You're
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
To all our viewers tuning in, tweet on with that hashtag India against Islamists. But please understand what we are talking about. We are not against Islam, we are against Islamists. And this is how Islamist defines itself in the Oxford Dictionary. An advocate or supporter of Islamic militancy or fundamentalism. That's the noun version. The adjective, as we move on, also comes out and talks about those relating to advocating or supporting Islamic militancy or fundamentalism. We are against radical strain, those fundamentalists, those who are using religion as a tool to not just fuel hatred but to brainwash and set up a set of people to use violence against innocents of another community, another set of people. And that is something we abhor. And that is what India is standing up against.
So let's take this across to our panelists and say good evening to our guests as we explain to our panelists as well as to viewers what is it that we are standing and fighting against. Good evening, Maroof Raza, consulting editor for Times Now, Syed Zafar Islam, spokesperson for the BJP, Ashok Pandit, director and an activist joining us from Mumbai itself, Ghanshyam Tiwari, national spokesperson for the Samajwadi Party, Sunit Chopra, leader of the CPIM, Devendra Rana, MLA and spokesperson for the National Conference. We have quite a few questions for the politicians tonight. We'll bring in our other panelists as well, but we are going to focus on why is it that several of the politicians still are cautious, apprehensive or point blank in denial of what it is that we are fighting against. This rise of the caliphate ideology, the Wahhabism that we are fighting against. But before I come to you, the politicians, Shabnam Lone, let me start with you tonight. What do you think? Why is it that our netas are so hesitant to call a spade a spade? If it is Zakir Musa who speaks about fight in the name of religion, if it is Syed Salahuddin who sits in Pakistan and sends across messages and plots this in the name of religion and fighting against that, if it is the Hizbul and the Lashkar who are speaking about the caliphate, then why should we be in denial of it?
First of all, let me say that the pilgrims were on a journey of faith to the Amarnath Yatra, and I am not only deeply saddened, but I am deeply offended as a Kashmiri who believes in the ethos of Kashmir, pluralism and inclusivity. So for all those families who lost their loved ones, this is a message loud and clear from Kashmir. We are deeply, deeply sorry for your loss, and we are absolutely helpless. There is nothing we could do to help you, but God be with you. Now let me come to the Kashmir imbroglio. Now Kashmir has external and internal dimensions. External dimensions, we know that Pakistan has always said that it is an interested party. Now let us come to the internal dimensions. Internal dimensions would mean, how has India held the Kashmir policy? India, you are extremely deficient.
Why don't you tonight, Shabnam Lone, rather than criticizing India, just take on Pakistan and all those netas who bat for them? Why don't you do that? Why don't you turn around and say that Salahuddin is not a freedom fighter, he's a terrorist? Why don't you tonight say that those who embrace the Lashkar, those who embrace the Jaish-e-Mohammed and sit with all the jihadi tanzeems over in Muzaffarabad are nothing but a bunch of terrorists who are corrupted, who have not just corrupted religion but also corrupted the people? Why don't you come out and say something about Pakistan and how it's giving them a free run? Why don't you say all of that tonight rather than trying to berate India?
You see, like, you sound like Mr. Ram Madhav.
Let's not get into this slanging match with Shabnam Lone, because I want to maintain a certain level to this debate when I ask you this, because I catch you the moment I ask you this. I catch you the moment I ask you this, Shabnam Lone, because you will not come out and say that these people are an insult to Islam. These people are so radicalized that they have insulted religion. These people need to be denounced, and if they owe their religions to a man who embraces Abdul Rahman Makki,
my religion says,
then that person needs to be denounced. He is no longer a champion of Kashmiris.
My Quran
say that today. Say that today. Say that Syed Salahuddin should be the first person to come out and condemn the murder of these 7 people. Say that today. Say that today. That if Syed Salahuddin does not condemn the murder of these innocents, then he does not deserve to be. Then he does not deserve to be called anything but a terrorist. Say it today.
In the earlier the show, she stands exposed today.
These dastardly murderers. Whosoever is involved.
Okay, you know why, Shabnam Lone, I
started crocodile tears which she shed at the beginning of the program stands exposed today.
Shabnam Lone, let's listen to other panelists. Ashok Pandit wants to say something.
Crocodile tears. India is suffering because of people like Shabnam Lone.
No, they are also suffering because some other people. Mr. Devendra Rana is with us. Mr. Devendra Rana, before I come across to you, good evening, sir. I would like you to hear what somebody very close to the Omar Abdullah family had to say. Can we just play that out, please?
BJP can go to any extent to fulfill their agenda, which they have not given up. Ek Vidhan, Ek Nishan, Ek Pradhan, and to stigmatize the people of the state, particularly the Muslims. BJP can go to any extent. In this incident, they have a finger in it.
Devendra Rana, I hope you heard that. And Shabnam Lone, that is why I started with you, because I was asking you this very question. You should have expressed your anger against netas like this. Devendra Rana, what does he mean, Mustafa Kamal, when he says something like this, that it's BJP who has a hand in this, a finger in this?
Very unfortunate for Mr. Mustafa Kamal to make such an irresponsible statement. I'm very saddened to hear this audio.
There is more, if I can just point it out. He also goes on to say BJP has always wanted to stigmatize the people of Kashmir, especially the Muslims.
I would not like to comment. I would not like to comment on what he has said.
Why would you not want to comment?
I said
It's just saying it's unfortunate. Is that condemnation enough, Devendra Rana? It's such a sensitive time, Mr. Rana.
Can you hear me out or not? You asked a question.
Okay, go ahead.
What Mr. Mustafa Kamal has said is very unfortunate. I distance myself from it. I do not endorse it. This is not the time to talk this. It's a very, to my mind, it's a wrong thing to say. Having said that, a tragedy has struck us. A dastardly tragedy has struck us, which has made us all very grim and sad. But the people of Jammu and Kashmir today has shown us a ray of light at the end of this blind, long tunnel.
What about the politicians?
By all coming together. Wait a minute, can I complete?
Yes.
They all came together, irrespective of ideologies, political ideologies, other religious ideologies, and together in Jammu as well as in Kashmir. All
I didn't see Omar Abdullah there
on one platform.
We didn't see any of those so-called tall leaders who were there batting for the Pelter League not so long ago when they wanted the votes and ahead of the elections, Mr. Rana. I didn't see Mr. Farooq Abdullah come out there and lead that.
Mr. Abdullah and Mr. Omar Abdullah and Dr. Farooq Abdullah have come out categorically.
No, they came out and made a statement, but that is lip service.
Let me.
Mr. Rana, that's why I'm saying, sir, this is lip service. That's why I'm saying, sir, this is lip service.
At Pahalgam,
we said it that terrorism
not outside the drawing room
is to be fought. Outside. We are ready to fight terrorism. We were on the road today in support of all that
people
is to be
of Kashmir were, sir, but not the politicians. Sir, I didn't see Mirwais Omar Farooq out there. They are not Kashmiris?
Go and ask Mirwais Omar Farooq.
Why should I? Sir, please, you should come. You distance yourself conveniently from Mustafa Kamal. Sir, this distancing yourself seems to be something which you have learned from your ally, the Congress party, Mr. Devendra Rana. Very convenient. The leader will come out and make a statement, then the leadership will say, sorry, we distance ourselves. It's very convenient to play this game.
I go by what Mr. Omar Abdullah and Dr. Farooq Abdullah have been saying on the incident and after the incident.
What have they been saying? Have they said that this is Islamist terror?
Opinion.
This is a dent on Kashmiriyat? This is not something that Kashmir will ever subscribe to. These people can never have the interests of Kashmir in mind. They have not said that.
Terrorist is a terrorist.
They have not said that.
Don't align a religion.
They have not said that, sir. They have not said that.
Terrorist is a terrorist. We must condemn terrorism and we must all get united.
But
please go to.
But then condemn the kind of terrorism it is. Condemn the kind of terrorism it is. Condemn the kind of condemn the kind of terrorism it is. Did you come out and berate? Did you come out, sir, and berate Mr. P. Chidambaram and Mr. Sushil Kumar Shinde when they gave terror a color?
Why should I get into P. Chidambaram?
Why didn't you, sir? Why didn't you? At that time, you didn't come out and berate them. You quasi-endorsed it. Why did you endorse it at that time?
I think the people of Jammu and Kashmir have given an answer to all those who perpetrate terror on us.
Sir, the people of Jammu and Kashmir, have been left so disillusioned because they don't even know what their politicians intend to do, the game their politicians intend to play.
And we will fight terror and win the war against terror.
Who are the terrorists? Who are these? Name the terrorists today. Syed Salahuddin. Is Syed Salahuddin a terrorist? Is Syed Salahuddin a terrorist?
When did that happen? When did that happen?
Is Syed Salahuddin a terrorist?
Killing of innocent
what did Umar Abdullah tweet?
Is Syed Salahuddin a terrorist? Is Abdul Rahman Makki a terrorist, sir? It is his people. It is people aligned to him who have killed innocent people on Kashmiri soil. What will you tell them?
Anybody who has killed innocent people.
You know, Mr. Rana, you won't take names. Mr. Rana, you won't take names. You won't even go on to discuss their ideologies. Why are you being so cautious? If indeed you and your party and the Abdullahs are so moved and so disturbed by what has happened.
And we have stood. Today we have stood.
Okay, I have been going through the entire Twitter timeline of the last 24 hours of Omar Abdullah. I have gone through, there must be at least 30 tweets here, Mr. Rana. Please listen to me. There are 30 tweets here at least. In one of them, in fact, Omar Abdullah even says that some of the people I follow need to stop peddling the fact that the tourist bus was caught in crossfire. Buncombe, you can't be apologist for terror. If Omar Abdullah is saying you can't be apologist for terror, why are you all still sounding like that? Where is the tweet saying what Mustafa Kamal has said is absolutely wrong?
He was the first.
Where is the tweet? Where is the bite? Where is the comment by Farooq Abdullah or by Omar Abdullah? Why isn't Omar Abdullah saying that what my uncle has said is completely wrong, Maroof? It's very convenient. A couple of tweets to say, oh, we all stand together. But when it comes to actual action on ground, they won't.
He has gone on
their own cousin, a senior party leader, is making comments like this at such a sensitive time, Maroof. They won't say it is Islamist terror. They won't name the terrorists. They won't even name the organization.
Fight against terror. We will fight against terror. We will preserve Kashmir and do whatever is required to fight terror.
Tanvi, may I come in with Mr. Rana
for the last 40 years, sure.
People will fight.
Sorry, Maroof, please go ahead.
We have been fighting, we will fight. And
okay. Yes, Mr. Rana, I'm sure.
Bringing in our other
I'm sure you're a man of your words and you'll fight now.
You don't convince us. Let's see if you convince any of our other panelists. Mr. Maroof Raza speaking. Let Maroof Raza speak, sir. Mr. Rana, please let Maroof Raza speak.
In the sad hour,
Rana Saab.
Go ahead, Maroof.
Mr. Rana. Anand, see, there are two elements to what your debate is about. One is this whole, the footprint of Islamists and the footprint of the right-wing jihadi culture, which is finding ground extensively in Kashmir over the last year or two, which wasn't the case for several years before that, even though the Pandits were hounded out of Kashmir Valley, which was the start of this whole exercise of cleansing Kashmir of all Hindu, Pandit and non-Muslim elements. It was part of a design that Pakistan had put into place, which further found momentum when across the world this whole idea of trying to spread the Islamic Caliphate from Kashmir to Morocco found ground with a lot of hardliners. So there is that element. The second element is that within Jammu and Kashmir, unfortunately, what has happened in the last 10 to 15 years, 10 years in particular, there has been an added momentum for a variety of reasons, and politicians have lived off that, that this whole culture of Sufism and the syncretic culture that Kashmir was famous for was being abandoned by people for a variety of reasons, not any lesser for gaining votes and vote banks. So there is the vote bank politics that is there.
Yes.
The third thing that we must understand, that when people and politicians in India raise issues that this was a security lapse, they either don't understand how the security network works, or they're just making that, just run-of-the-mill assertions. In this case, the bus was not part of the convoy. It was followed by 2 motorcycles, which took advantage of the bus that got left out. Now, there might have been a slip-up at a Naka where the bus was allowed to go once it had missed the convoy gang, and it became targeted when it was in isolation and on its own. The security cover was provided by the government with 40,000 troops, with drones, with intelligence service, and various other efforts being made to ensure that the yatra goes through. There's an important point we need to understand about the yatra. Apart from the point that Ms. Shabnam Loan rightly made, that this is a dastardly act and against the very nature of Kashmiriyat, it is also, the yatra is very important for the Kashmiri economy. For the last 3 to 4 years, there have almost been 50% of the tourist traffic in Kashmir is made up of people who are yatris. 3.4 lakhs was last year's figure. 3 years ago, the tourism figure in Kashmir was 6.2 lakh tourists. So you can understand that the average Kashmiri is suffering because somebody in his stupidness wants to create an Islamic caliphate there and putting the people's lives on line. People in Kashmir have had enough. They're not getting business, they're not getting tourists, they're not being able to eat.
And Maruf, they haven't even spared that aspect, why we are again and again raising the issue of Mustafa Kamal, Maruf, is because it's an example of several of these netas and the way they actually talk and function on ground. He actually went on to say that the involvement of the government in the yatra is also a reason to irritate many people. 50% of the yatris come here for a free meal. This slows down the business of locals. There's always been an issue between the locals and the yatra. No, that's what he's saying. He's even trying to highlight and draw a wedge between the two.
I wanted to... Will you...
Yes. Please, go ahead.
See, the point we need to understand that the message that India always gives out is of a divided society. Pakistan has benefited from it, and even the Chinese are taking advantage of that now with this border standoff. So we have to speak in one voice, in one united opinion. Nobody is in support of terror. Nobody wants India to fall into the trap of this Islamic caliphate. And apart from Kashmir, there are more Muslims in the rest of India who don't want to have truck with all this nonsense. So we have to collectively as a people, and even political parties have to understand there is a larger Islamic vote bank if they're trying to capitalize on it outside the valley.
They won't
and
say
we
it,
should
sir.
not just pander to
they
the
won't
sentiment
say it.
of a handful of people.
They're afraid because a lot of them, it's very easy for them to come out and say Hindu terror. It is very easy to come out and say, "Oh, dekho, wo to Hindu nikla." But they will never come out and say, "Ye to Islamist hai." He is an insult to the religion, insult to the country. He's somebody we need to weed out and we need to fight against. They will not say it. Why? Why Ghanshyam Tiwari? Come into the debate. Sunil Chopra, why will you not come out and openly call out? You are ready to
one point.
See, they are ready to berate a Major Gogoi, sir. They were ready to berate a General Bipin Rawat. But they will not come out and say that these are Islamists. Why, Maruf Raza?
Anand, if you allow me to make one point, please understand. Anand, please understand that a multicultural, multi-ethnic, secular society like India contradicts the right-wing, Salafist, hardline view that the Islamists project. It is not just in India. Any society which stands for multiculturalism
multilingual,
is ipso facto an enemy of the right-wingers. And it is that this is today an international debate of which we need to take our own position more seriously. and we have to proudly stand up against anybody trying to destroy.
Absolutely, but it has to be the politicians, the voices first. Ghanshyam Tiwari. How many from the has Akhilesh Yadav come out and said that this is brazen Islamist terror?
Absolutely.
He hasn't.
And I'm appalled.
He hasn't.
I'm appalled at politicians
who
are exploiting
Sir, they did not even openly come out and condemn Azam Khan, who literally called our braves rapists.
Can I say something now? Can I say something now?
Yes.
On a day like this, your debate is going all over the place.
Yes.
The reality of the country is every one of us, including you, we grew up singing Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, aapas mein hai bhai bhai. And there is an ideology out there that is saying, be it on the Islamist side or be it on the other sides, that is saying Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai nahi rahenge bhai bhai. Now you can choose what you want to play out, but we have chosen that Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai rahenge hamesha bhai bhai.
So what is happening in Kashmir, Ghanshyam? Will you call it the Islamist terror?
Maruf was saying it is on that agenda.
Will you and Akhilesh and your party and Azam Khan call it the Islamist terror? What is also happening in Kashmir right now? Will you accept that fact? Let's begin with that. You're quick to call out the other side, the Hindu fringe, the Hindu radicals, the Gau Rakshaks. You're quick to label them, call them what their ideology is. Why don't you do it now?
Play out Musa.
Yeah. Exactly. What Zakir Musa says, what Syed Salahuddin says, what the stone pelters on ground are beginning to hear and get misled by. It is a specific ideology. Why are you hesitant to name it?
Can I say now?
Yes.
There is, let us not forget that there is, and Maruf can explain it better, but there is a very large conspiracy that is always underplay to make India fundamentalist, especially with through such Islamists.
So where is it?
Our shared legacy, our shared heritage.
No, if it is a shared legacy and a shared heritage, how is it that your volume goes up when you want to berate Gau Rakshak, sir? But your volume is so timid.
That is you.
I can't hear you, Ghanshyam Tiwari, when you come out and call these people Islamist terrorists. Why don't you say Salahuddin has got no interest of Kashmir? He is driven by this caliphate mentality. Why don't you say that these people are not, these people are the scum for our society. They don't deserve to be any place. Why don't you say it openly?
Anyone who acts against India is an enemy of every Indian.
अरे चार गौरक्षक को आपने इतना बड़ा हवा बना दिया ये लोग जाने ले रहे हैं इस्लाम के नाम पे you don't have anything to say about it.
No, ये हवा क्या है? Why are you compensating this?
No, I'm not compensating, sir. We are equally against Gaurakshaks, but we are far more vociferous and vehement against these people who think it is okay to kill innocents in the name of religion.
People like Salim Sheikh are the true leaders of society. Their act of...
Sir, what was your position against Azam Khan? Tell me. What was your position when he tried to politicize the Indian army? What was your position? You were soft on him. Why were you soft on Azam Khan? Why were you soft on Azam Khan?
That is indifferent to that debate.
Why is it indifferent? Why is it indifferent? What is your position against Mustafa Kamal today? What is your position against Mustafa Kamal today? What is your position against Mirwais Umar Farooq today? What's your position against those people who are committing these acts? What is your position? Take names, sir. Take names.
Our position is clear. We love together.
See again, you will not say anything openly against these people. Why won't you say anything openly against these people?
We want an India where people like Salim Sheikh stand up tall as brave hearts. We want an India where Kashmiriyat shows the way to everybody.
Very nice. So sounds so nice, so nice, so absolutely fantastic. Did you say
that is a reality?
Do you know?
It's not nice. I'm not.
Do you know these people? Do you know Devendra Rana and the National Conference, which is trying to play politics today over the death of 7 pilgrims? They are leading this entire barrage along with the Congress party. Where were they in 2010, 2011, 2012? Do you know how many people died during the Amarnath Yatra, sir, because of sheer negligence of the state? Is that not murder? Did you raise your voice then? 45 people died in 2009. 67 died in 2010. 107 died in 2011. Another 100 died in 2012. What did you do? What did you do? Why? Because they were Amarnath Yatris and the Jammu and Kashmir government didn't care. Why? Because there is this underlying soft separatism, this underlying hatred for a particular community that is fueling this, sir. Let's say it as it is. Let's say it as it is.
That's a separate debate.
These are all people who are the ones who have hatred in their head, who are clearly identifying a certain disposition with a particular religion and saying, let's go after them. Say it, sir. Let's say it.
There are people
It's difficult to accept it, but that's the truth. That's the truth, Ashok Pandit.
When you play out,
Zafar Islam.
When you play out your strength, you have to believe that there are people out there who will conspire against our nation, who will attack. And
so name them today. Name them today. Shame them today. Tell them that they need to get up. They need to get up and decide which side they are on and state their position. We are saying the divisive forces need to be called out. The divisive forces need to be called out, and your voice needs to be equally vehement on both sides. Zafar Islam.
Anand, can I just come in here?
Yes.
See, terrorism, as we all know, that it has no religion. But there are people from the Muslim community, likes of Mustafa Kamal, who the kind of a statement he has made is actually hell-bent to give a very poor color to the religion, Islam as a religion. And it is actually this kind of statement make everyone furious, and I am absolutely furious with the kind of statement he has made. But besides being furious, actually, I will not hesitate to equate him at par with Sayyid Salahuddin, who is a dreaded terrorist, and he is no less. And he is no less because the kind of patronage he is getting from his own leadership, Farooq Abdullah and his son, none of them have condemned the way it should have been condemned by them.
Not at all. They haven't said a word.
Absolutely, that shows that the kind of patronage he is getting, and that's why they are making this kind of a statement, because no one else on this day would have made this kind of a statement but for this Mustafa Kamal, and that shows that there is an element in the valley who actually works at the
Devendra Rana has been wanting to make a point.
And these
Mr. Rana, before I come to you,
working for them and as an enemy of this country.
Yes, Mr. Rana, before I come to you and you will get your time to respond to that, I just want to ask Zafar Islam. Zafar Islam, you recognize it, unlike other political parties, your political party has no qualms in acknowledging what is the problem on ground. Then what is the strategy to fight it? What is going to be your party strategy at the center and state? Because you've been there for 3 years. This is still happening. Now, you may say that you've had all the security that you need to deploy for Amarnath Yatris, but the fact is one bus randomly got away, and it was on that highway. For half an hour, terrorists popped up from somewhere and the security wasn't around.
See, Tanvi, you can't hold the central government or the state government responsible for this incident. You know the fact that why it happened, and yet all I am saying that the government has taken initiative and all the precaution in the past, and it had happened peacefully. But those who are responsible for this kind of a cowardice act, they will be held responsible, and we will ensure that either they are dead or alive, but they will meet the fate soon as possible.
Why do I see the government also stammering today, sir? Why is the government also fumbling today? Why is it that there is no collective?
Not at all. Not at all.
Why is there no collective outrage from? Why are you not able to bring the opposition together and tell them, convince them that this is Islamist terror? It needs to be called that way. Why are there voices differing which say that just because it is the BJP, we will oppose you? Is that not your failure to unite?
Anand, actually that is the moot point. That is something which we need to really debate hard, because there are some political party who's in opposition today. They are the one who actually have hell-bent to criticize BJP, even though this kind of incident actually should
they will criticize,
everyone.
Sir, but what have you done? Have you been able, sir,
and criticize
Mr. Zafar Islam, sir,
yes,
with due respect,
course.
you know more, I'm sure you will know more about Islam than I do. But I know this much, that almost all sects of Islam, if they flourish, prosper and exist in one country across the world today, it is India. Have you been able to isolate this one particular radical strain against the entire community and get the community to voice their opinion against this? Why haven't you been able to do that as the government? Why are we doing it on the News Hour tonight? Why is it that the entire collective community is not coming out and saying, we do not want we do not want this radical strain to try and bring a bad name to our faith and our community and our people. We do not want this radical strain to come out and hurt the social, secular fabric of this country. Why is that not happening?
Absolutely. No, Anand, let me just respond to that. First of all, you asked me as a Muslim also and as a BJP spokesperson. Let me respond first as a Muslim. see, within the community, there is some rotten elements, and you see that these people are responsible for this kind of cowardice act. But the whole of community, you name the senior most clerics from the community are actually condemning this act, and they should condemn it in the strongest possible word. And I have spoken to many of them, and they have all came out in open and condemned it. But besides that, the government is not responsibility to make someone condemn it. It is something which should come from within. And
well,
I know
sir, it is the government's responsibility at the state and the center, Zafar Islam. It is the government's responsibility to resolve the crisis which Kashmir is facing right now.
May I?
Now, the other political parties may have not been. Maruf, just give me 2 minutes. I need to go to two panelists who haven't spoken yet. Now, the point is, other political parties and state governments may have failed Zafar Islam for all this while. But the onus is on you right now because you are in power. So you can't wash away your responsibility in your hands and say this is not on us at all. It is. The situation today is. It is the responsibility of the state and the center. But I want to go across and question those political parties whose only job, it seems, is criticizing and questioning the government. Sunit Chopra, the left may come out and question the government on accountability. Are they also not accountable for all those times that they have encouraged separatists, terror apologists, people on ground in Kashmir who are adding fuel to the fire? Shouldn't the left also take onus for adding fuel to the fire?
Not at all. The left gave the BJP a wonderful occasion with 2 resolutions, one of the Rajya Sabha, one of the Lok Sabha, supporting them unitedly. And all the BJP did, they came to one delegation, and after that they did nothing. And they shot at people, they blinded people, they killed people, and now they say, come and bail us out.
No.
I'd like to say 3 things now. I'd like to say 3 things. 1, condemnation does nothing. Modi condemned Gau Rakshaks. And the next day,
the left also condemned this time, sir. They also denounced
of India.
So are you telling yourself that condemnation does nothing? Are you telling yourself condemnation does nothing? Are you telling your own party?
Condemnation does nothing.
Are you telling your own party, sir? Are you telling your own party condemnation denouncement does nothing? Are you telling your own party?
We are not denouncing. We are only asking, how did that mistake take place?
CPIM denounced, sir. You have not even read your own party statement. The CPIM denounced the dastardly attack. Have you read your own party Politburo statement, sir? Have you read it? You have not.
Denounced the attack. I know that.
You know that. So let me ask you, weren't their own party members who went and hugged and shook hands and knocked on the doors of those very people who are fueling this hatred? Condemnation does nothing.
No.
Action does. Action.
They are not fueling
condemnation does nothing. I agree with you. Action does. Action does. Act.
And in fact,
mere lip service does nothing. Sunit Chopra, you're telling yourself this and your party this. Yes.
No. And Syed Salahuddin's family is doing very well out of your joint government in Kashmir.
Yes, we only highlighted that, and we only highlighted that, and we questioned the government, which is why, Mr. Chopra, I agree with you.
I know,
which is why I asked the government what they're going to do. But the fact on condemnation, Ashok Pandit, even the separatists are condemning the attack.
You have to see
even the Pakistani supporters and terrorists are condemning the attack. So what good is a condemnation here when people don't realize what role they have played in fueling this rise of the caliphate? Ashok Pandit.
Tanvi, this condemnation has become a joke in this country, so I don't take these condemnations very seriously. My problem here is that I hate word called, I've started hating word called Kashmiriyat, and this is an act of desperation, an act of, whatever the words which are used normally now. Now, Kashmiriyat is a very big facade in Kashmir. I'm being very honest about it. Kashmiriyat died and was murdered on 19th of January 1990 when my genocide and ethnic cleansing happened. So let us not harp on a word called Kashmiriyat because it really irritates me as being a victim of terrorism in Kashmir. Secondly, let us understand all political parties around political parties. we have to accept that this is not an act of terrorism. This is an act of war. An undeclared war is being fought by India against Pakistan, which Maruf Saab has been saying time and again. But the problem here is that the politics of this country, all political parties are not taking this battle as an act of war. I'm tired writing RIP messages. I'm tired listening to the cries and screams of people of the houses, victims whose people have died. These 7 families have come on the road. 5 women have been killed, and here we see on television channels political parties accusing each other that what did you do? What did you do? We have to come on the brass tacks. I'm tired of listening to the screams of the victims. The country has to move ahead. It's high time that we fight. And for me, the bigger enemy than Abu Ismail is all those people, all those politicians who go to Kashmir and hug all the terrorists. They hug Gilani, they hug Yasin Malik, they hug Shabir Shah. For me,
and then they come out and condemn, sir.
Then all the Pakistanis.
Like I said, Mr. Ashok Pandit, to everybody, Mr. Suneet Chopra picked up a point and said, I have 3 points to make. Here, condemnation is not enough. It looked like he is making, he's writing a letter to the CPIM Politburo and saying, these are the 3 points I'd like to make back to the Politburo. Ashok Pandit, see, sir, people of this country are not just tweeting with that hashtag India against Islamists. They agree with the points of view of our viewers, of our panelists, and they disagree too. Look at what Shabnam Lone, you sound like a Pakistani spokesperson, says one of our viewers. Karna Madhav says Mirwais has simply become a Pak version of Baghdadi. Rajendra Sharma, yes, BJP can go to any extent in uniting India and defeating Islamists. They believe, they have trust. Mustafa Kamal, leave India. You don't even have the right to die on the land of Kashmir. That's one more person. Devendra Rana is towing a safe line. They keep generalizing, beating around the bush and skirting the issue. One sec, Shabnam Lone, I'm just reading out opinion about all. It's not my opinion. This is viewers who are saying. Please, let me just read out what they have to say about every panelist. They have yes, I will come to you, ma'am. I'll come to you, ma'am. They have an opinion about every panelist. Let me just read that. Rajesh Kabu says, in the name of liberation, extermination of innocence is abominable. So many people. Shabnam Lone, respond to our viewers. Respond to the viewer. It was a viewer who said it. Shabnam Lone.
I will not explain myself to anyone.
Yeah.
You are apologists.
The country is suffering because of this woman. The person like Shabnam Lone. Shabnam Lone is a terrorist backer. She's silent on terrorists. She's silent on Burhanwani. She's silent on all the terrorists. She is silent on all the terrorist activities in Kashmir. So my country is suffering because of a person like Shabnam Lone. Shabnam Lone's license of practicing the Supreme Court should be withdrawn because she is a danger to the country. She has been a supporter of terrorism in Kashmir. It's a danger to the Kashmir. They are part of terrorism in Kashmir. Shabnam Lone is more dangerous than the terrorists who have attacked the Amarnath Yatris.
Now, Ashok Pandit,
asked about her. What is the background?
Ashok Pandit and Shabnam Lone, calm down.
Silent on Burhanwani.
Ashok Pandit, calm down. Ashok Pandit, we need to tell Ms. Shabnam Lone. We need to tell Ms. Shabnam Lone, madam, what I was reading out. Shabnam Lone ji, please. What I was reading out was what some of the viewers have written to us, and they are writing to us live. You have every right to disagree with them. You have every right to disagree with them, but it is their opinion that this is how they feel you sound like. Just like they don't agree with Mr. Devendra Rana. They believe the National Conference is sitting on the fence and towing a balancing line. They don't agree with Ghanshyam Tiwari. They don't agree with the BJP because they agree that the BJP is fumbling tonight. Maruf Raza, our viewers are listening to every single panelist. They are listening to every single panelist. They have questions to Mr. Suneet Chopra too. One of them on here. This is what they say. The CPA, Chidiyaghar is a good rest house in Delhi for the CPIM and the CPM. Block with numbers indexed. All netas can do is shed crocodile tears over the loss of recent Innocent life. There is zero empathy from them. These are all viewers writing in live on the News Hour tonight. They are writing live, Maruf. You see, people know who stands where, Maruf Raza. People know who stands where.
We are practical. They don't know.
I don't care. I know
Anand,
what I am. I don't
may I request your panelists please to calm down,
I am what
sir.
I am. Please think whatever you want to think about me.
CPI has done the biggest injustice to the Indian leftist movement, led once by Bhagat Singh. One of our viewers is writing it. Yes, I'm just reading out. Sorry, Maruf. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Anand, I just want to quickly make a point, and I want to sort of re-emphasize that, of course, there is the political view and counter view, and there are allegations that are being exchanged. But let's go to the historical facts and let us ask ourselves, how did Kashmir go away, as Mr. Pandit has brought out, and my sympathies are with him, because from 19 January 19 onwards, when the Pandits were driven out in hundreds of thousands, that was in many ways a watershed point in Kashmir's history. But what is more important to understand, and there are political parties who are defending their stance. Ma'am, I don't need your certificate, Shabnam Lone. I am a bigger Kashmiri than you. I am a bigger Kashmiri than you. I am just quoting a fact. I want to give you a certificate. I am quoting a historical day. I don't need your certificate. Shabnam Lone, you don't shout over everybody else. Who are you to ask? You're not allowing a debate to take place. I was in Kashmir and I'm not answerable to you, to a terrorist like you. I'm not answerable to a terrorist like you, Shabnam Lone. Shabnam Lone, you come in repeatedly on these debates. You come in repeatedly.
Calm down, Shabnam Lone. Maruf Raza, please. Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out. Shabnam, you'll get your chance to say what you need to say.
Ashok Pandit is lying.
Let's not make it personal, Shabnam Lone. Let's not make it personal. We are well aware of your views about what happened in the 90s. Calm down.
No, I value.
Calm down. Don't get dragged into this personal fight. Ashok Pandit, Shabnam Lone, both of you. Maruf Raza, to you, please. And then I have one question for Devendra Raina. So Maruf Raza, please.
He's lying.
I'm not answerable to a terrorist
May I just make one point? I mean, there's no. I mean, you're getting into a personal slanging match.
This is Maruf Raza speaking.
Miss Lone, please don't get into a personal slanging match.
Yeah.
What, Miss Lone, I want to ask, and this will probably gladden your heart when I ask this question. I want to ask all political parties, weren't they aware that in all these years there was cable TV beaming anti-India and hardline Islamist messages right across the Kashmir Valley under their very noses, and this was allowed to carry on till the media exposed it? Weren't we all aware that the intelligence agencies knew the relevance of Buranwani to Pakistan, and we still allowed his killing to become such a public event, and that led to the spiraling of events thereafter which went out of control? So, therefore, the point I wish to make, ma'am, the point I wish to make, that while political parties say this didn't happen in my time,
Maruf has made a point, Shabnam Lone, I actually want Devendra Raina to answer that point. Devendra Raina, that is on you. What has happened in the past 2.5 decades before this government came into power?
To all political panelists.
Yes. So let's start with the national conference. Were you not aware of what was
that everyone is saying that my party is better than your party? If your party was better than the other party, and I want to raise this question, please, if your party was better than the other party, then how did we allow the mushrooming of so many mosques and madrasas in Kashmir, which was spouting Wahhabi venom? How did we allow cable television to spout Wahhabi venom? How did we allow the Buranwanis of the world to become icons? How did we allow Kashmir to completely abandon its syncretic culture? All political parties must take responsibility today. Not to say that in my time it didn't happen. It happened in all your time. Some of it happened in the last 3 years. Some of it happened in the last 20 years. So will you please put enough to own up? Because that is at the root of the problem. And that is the central point.
If we don't allow him to speak right now, he will get away without responding to a very important point that you've made. So let's just see. Because Devendra Raina is just sitting there and he needs to respond to what you've raised.
Maruf is right. All of us have something, somewhere to contribute to what has gone wrong. This is not a moment to sling match on each other or score political brownie points. We are at the crossroads of and it's a watershed moment. Let us all introspect, join hands together, and find the movement way forward, and fight terror with full might, irrespective of our political ideologies, irrespective of our personal beliefs, irrespective of our religious leanings, and irrespective of what we believe in. First and foremost, terror is a menace that Jammu and Kashmir, everyone wants to fight to and
Mr. Rana, it all sounds very good here. It all sounds very good.
Wait a minute.
And I wish it was actually real. Perhaps we will begin to believe you, Mr. Rana. Perhaps we will begin to believe you the day Farooq Abdullah comes out and says that what I said and the sympathy and the support I gave to those who are wielding guns and the stone pelters in February and March was only because there were elections that I was going to fight, and I don't believe in it, and I'm sorry for saying those things. The day Farooq Abdullah says that, then perhaps we will start beginning to believe what National Conference really has to say, or any other Neta in Jammu and Kashmir has to say, because it absolutely comes down to appeasement politics.
Can I make a point?
Let me.
As we wind up, sir.
Let me make a point.
I'm going to close with what our viewers are saying.
Before you wind up,
sir, I'm going to wind up with saying even Fidel Castro had nationalism for his land, but the CPIM are hell-bent on giving Kashmir to Pakistan on a plate, says one of our viewers. The other one says competitive vote bank politics has destroyed the country, and they also say whenever there is a flare-up in Kashmir, the BJP looks shaky.
I agree with him. That is
they are all making sense on the news hour tonight, but the politicians are still wishy-washy. I thank you all for joining us. Have to wind up on that note. Thank you very much.